Welcome back. All right, so the first season preview for today is on the San Jose Sharks. San Jose Sharks, a team that seemed to be going through a rebuild, though not saying it out loud. Trading off Brent Burns, it definitely clears up what seems to have been an area that this team needed to clear up. But I think the defense in general needs some kind of a revamp, or maybe Marc-Edouard Vlasic to rediscover the elite level game that he had not that long ago. So when we look at the last 5 seasons for San Jose, 2017-2018, they finished 45, 27, and 10, so that's a 100-point season. They were 12th in the league in goals for. They were 9th in the league in goals against. Things were pretty good. 2018-2019, they finished 46, 27, and 9, so 101 points that year. They were second in goals for, so they had no problem scoring. They had problems keeping it out of their net. They were 21st in goals against, which has been a problem from then until now. And whether you want to blame it on the defense, whether you want to blame it on the goaltending, there is blame to go around. 2019-2020, they finished 29, 36, and 5 as things bottomed out for them. 27th in goals for, 25th in goals against. The following season, 2020-2021, they finished 21, 28, and 7. They were 24th in goals scored, 29th in goals against. Last season, they revamped things. It seemed to help a bit with the goals against. They finished 32, 37, and 13 overall. They were 30th in goals for, 21st in goals against. So this past season, the problem they had was not enough scoring, which is odd because they have a couple of pretty good goal scorers on the team. It's just that scoring depth hasn't been there. So you're looking for those improvements this year. You're hoping that your new additions are going to make that difference. So for San Jose, I don't even think I get everybody on the board, but there's been a lot of turnover. The exits, Nicholas Milosh, Rudolph Balcers, who they bought out, Brent Burns, who of course goes to Carolina. Nick Milosh ends up in Calgary. John Leonard was traded to the Nashville Predators, and Jonathan Dahlen, they didn't give him a qualifying offer. He leaves as a UFA. As of yet, not signed anywhere. So the new faces in the lineup. And this is where I had to throw in a couple of rookies, and we got a couple of rookies over here, because this is a team that doesn't have a lot of top-end talent that is on the younger side of things, right? Marcus Nudavara was brought in on a 1-year contract. Matthew Benning signed a 3 or 4, I think it's a 4-year deal, actually, with San Jose. Luke Cunnin was brought in. Oscar Lindblom, after not being given a contract extension by Philadelphia, ends up signing as a free agent with San Jose. Nico Sturm, so there's some depth here. Stephen Lawrence arrives from the Carolina Hurricanes. So there's definitely some depth here, but I think eyes are going to be on Thomas Bordeleau. Having watched some of his play at the World Juniors over the last week, he's playing very, very well. And so there's a good chance he's ready to play now in the National Hockey League. And William Eklund, who also got a cup of coffee with the San Jose Sharks last year, may very well play a regular role as well. And for them, those are 2 breakthrough candidates they need. They cannot be a team that is struggling to score while they're getting their defense and their goaltending in order. Now, the goaltending is going to be interesting because the tandem, as far as I can tell, is James Reimer and Kaapo Kähkönen. But they've also got Adin Hill. Now, Adin Hill they brought in. It's possible they waive him. It's possible he clears waivers and he ends up being the number 3 guy. But that wasn't the plan when they initially brought him in. So Adin Hill didn't have a great year. They brought in Kähkönen at the deadline, and they re-signed him as well. So Reimer and Kähkönen are likely to be the tandem, I should say, for the San Jose Sharks. Down the middle, you've got Thomas Hertl. You've got Logan Couture. That's an excellent 1-2 punch down the middle. Then you got Nick Bonino, and it looks like Nico Sturm likely to be the number 4 center. Their center depth isn't bad. Bonino had large stretches of time he had trouble getting the puck in the net, of course. But Nick Bonino's not there for the offensive side of it. He's there to be the third-line center and play a bit of a shutdown role out there, which they need more of from him. Their best month on the season, well, that was to start the year. 5-3 in October. It turned out to be fool's gold. They couldn't maintain that. They stayed in the hunt for a while, but then they fell off. Their worst month was April, where they finished 3-7-5. So 15 games played in the month of April, and they won 3 of them. Now, according to the channel, you guys aren't very gung-ho on San Jose's odds of getting better. The Hockey Channel gave 1% of the vote to them finishing first or second. Entertainment Guy Channel, 2%. Third or fourth place, well, 3% of the Hockey Channel said, yep, they can be third or fourth. 5% of the Entertainment Guy. So that's 4% on the main channel, 7% on the backup channel saying they could finish between 1st and 4th. 5th and 6th, 24% of the Hockey Channel says 5th or 6th, 23% of the Entertainment Guy channel. 7th or 8th, that's where a majority of the votes are. 72% for 7th or 8th on the Hockey Guy channel. 70% on the Entertainment Guy channel. The vote counts, there were 12,000 votes on the main channel, 706 votes on the Entertainment Guy channel. So, yeah, the channel vote is saying 96% of the channel believes they're missing the playoffs, because I don't think there's anybody taking 5 teams in the Pacific and 3 in the Central to make the playoffs. So, yeah, I think it's pretty safe for me to say 96% on one channel and 93% on the other. So, yeah, Stanley Cup odds reflect this likelihood at $17,500. That's a lot. So, they're a plus 17,500. And again, they're not winning the cup. But I can understand why people might throw a couple of dollars towards it, because you like to have a free car. Cap space, there isn't any. This is one thing with San Jose, and this is why when people talk about one team here or there, and, oh, this team doesn't have cap space, these guys are morons. Very few teams have cap space, and if they do, it's because they've planned ahead, and in many cases, they're teams that don't see themselves as a playoff team anyways. San Jose envisions themselves as a playoff team, and I admire them for their stick-to-itiveness, for the fact that they're not changing their tactic here. Their top 4 on the blue line, Mario Ferraro, who I like, is underrated. Erik Carlson, they really need a bounce back from Carlson, and they need that at both ends of the ice. They need him to turn back as well as he can into the player he was in Ottawa when he was fantastic. Marc-Edouard Vlasic, I've talked about how he needs to bounce back. And Ryan Merkley, who played roughly half the season. We'll see how he does this year full-time. But they could definitely use a defenseman or two. That 21st in goals against, we'll see how it holds up this year with Burns having moved on. And, yeah, we'll see if maybe Matthew Benning can step in and give them some good defense. Nudavara as well, maybe that's your 5-6. Of course, with Knizhov out, that hurts their blue line too. I think he had a good shot at maybe getting into some top 4 time, but we'll see. So the breakthrough candidates, as I mentioned before, I've got Bordelot, I've got Eklund. They definitely could use the scoring from either or both. So hopefully, as a Sharks fan, you'd be watching this and going, yeah, they could use both. Their coach this year, David Quinn, stepping in and taking over. The general manager, Mike Greer, who, again, his brother is GM of the Dolphins. He's calling him, and his dad's got management experience. So, we'll see how things go for Greer. But he has absolutely done his best, I think, to remake this team. The trading of Brent Burns, kind of a bold deal there. Again, when they don't have cap space, that's a big part of what was going on there. But, yeah, so we'll see how things go. They're clearly betting on Carlson, or maybe they just didn't have the interest in Carlson they did for Burns. Their leader in goals this year was Timo Meier with 35. Tomas Hertl had 30. Assists, Brent Burns had 44. Timo Meier had 41. So Burns was the assist leader. Now they're going to expect, I would think they'd expect more out of Carlson than what they've had the last year, thus the Carlson jersey and all that. But yeah, so we'll see how things turn out. Their special teams, the power play was 19%. That needs improvement. Their penalty kill was excellent. San Jose's penalty kill generally, even with some of these nightmare seasons, their penalty kill has been very, very good. It's one of those things. 85.2% last season. Expiring contracts, they got a few. Nick Bonino, Matt Nieto, so third line / depth guys there. Marcus Nudavara just brought in on a 1-year deal. James Reimer and Aiden Hill. So they've got 2 goaltenders who are on expiring contracts, and I think they'll look to move Hill before we get to training camp, if they're not already. I mean, it's possible they've tried. Maybe there's not the kind of interest that they'd like for Hill. But that's going to be interesting to see how their goaltending works out, because if Reimer and Kakkonen can give them the kind of goaltending that we know they can, it can keep them in some games. Maybe San Jose wins a few early that we're not expecting. Maybe San Jose makes things interesting. It is the Pacific Division. It could be unpredictable. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below regarding the San Jose Sharks. Where do you think they finish? Is the channel too down on them? I will say this. Looking at the vote results, I was surprised there weren't more people taking them for 3rd or 4th. They've made a lot of changes. It's possible this team could get better. Yep, they could flame out. They could finish at the bottom. They could be terrible. But generally throughout this rebuild, though they're not calling it that, they haven't been awful. They just haven't been a playoff team, and they haven't been able to get ahead when they need to. So we'll see if this is the year that changes. Management wants that to happen. Again, they're not really embracing the idea of a rebuild at this point, and there you go. That's where they're at. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.